Mark Wahlberg is 54. He is in an incredible physical shape, and he's one of the few people on earth that can maintain that level of conditioning at that age. And he wakes up every day at 2:30 in the morning. But that is not the thing that actually gives him that results. And I'm gonna cover with you today what actually makes the Mark's routines works for him, and what things, if you would try to copy them, you would just live with no energy. And also what are the principles that Mark used to be at that shape at that age. So I'm gonna start by saying that the waking up at 2:30 in the morning, as many people think that is the key of success, or like The Rock, that he wakes up at 5 in the morning, is not the key to success. Because waking up, and I'm gonna cover what he does here, waking up at 2:30 in the morning is something. Wake up, so 2:30. So waking up 2:30 is something that actually he used for his own circadian rhythm, because he's used to those times because of his profession. So the thing here is that he goes to bed every night at 7:30, 8, and he's used to do that every day because he actually rests and recover. Okay, so if you try to do the same, what is gonna happen is that you're gonna crash your energy probably at the beginning, because you have to find your own circadian rhythm. For example, this depends on if you have a schedule that actually you have to go to work at 9 a.m. in the morning, or if you are an entrepreneur and you have your own time, which I think is the best. And that is exactly, in my case, my own position, that I can start the day in the moment that I choose. And that allows me to, I understand that my best moment in the day, my peak of focus, is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That is the moment in the day where I feel the most awake, the more productive that I can, where I can get more things done, and where my mental focus is at maximum. So you should find what time do you wake up, recover, and there's a test that you can do. I'm gonna leave it in the description. With that test, you can calculate what is your sleep type, so you can know what times do you peak, what is the ideal time for you to go to sleep. Then we have first workout. Of course, after you wake up, you're gonna have the first workout. And what he usually do is having the first workout at 3 or 4 in the morning. So you see, he trains like 30 or 1.5 hour after he wakes up. And this is what I recommend every people to do. Why? Because when you don't have your workout in the morning, what is gonna happen is that you're gonna leave that workout for later in the day. But when you do workout, you are not in your maximum focus to actually focus in the things that you do, right? So when you train in the morning, you're gonna first of all do that workout that maybe later in the day you cannot do it, because if you have kids or other things like more social life, you're not gonna be able to actually focus on your workout. All right, and to actually focusing on what you are doing in pushing. Okay, and every day having that structure where after you work out, you're gonna feel more serotonin, so you're gonna feel more happy, and you're also gonna be more productive, because you're gonna produce good cortisol, good stress to your body, that actually after that everything is gonna come easier, in the sense of the day is gonna just go down. But if you leave the workout for the end of the day, it's like you start the day easy and then it's getting harder and harder. So you should go to the opposite, taking care of the most difficult things of the day early in the morning. And what Mark does is he do um, um, I don't I missed the word. So he do functional workouts. I couldn't spell it. Then the functional workouts is something that it really works for him because he do high intensity interval workouts. So what that means is that he doesn't do like a 2 hour training, he do a 45-minute training, right, or even less. What that allows him to do is to actually, if this is one of the best training that I recommend almost every people to do, is that you don't have to train more than 45 minutes or 1 hour, right? If you know how to train. And here's one thing that I would like to cover, because he is in shape since he was in his 20s or 30s. So since really young, he was already in shape, which is a big factor because when I see a 50-year-old people or person trying to work out and it's one of the first time in his life that he's gonna work out, then it's really difficult for that person actually push himself to the limits of doing a good workout in short time. Like the higher your level of physical condition, the easier it's gonna be for you to actually do a better workout in less time. So that is something that you should know. So what can you do about it? Well, if you are an active person since you were young, then you're probably gonna have not gonna have a very difficult time to actually do short workouts. If you are a person that never worked out before, then is like now is the youngest you're ever gonna be in your life. It doesn't matter who is watching this. So better start and start building short workouts, and it's gonna allow you to train and to get results with little time. Then the days where you have more time, you can also have more time and train a little bit longer, but you don't need more than a 45 minutes training to actually produce the condition, the muscle growth that you want, and the aerobic condition for your health, for your heart, that you need. Okay, so he do short workouts 3 or 4 in the morning. Then he do a second workout in the afternoon. Okay, so this workout, usually this is more like a pump, and basically what I mean by that is that what he do is not high intensity, he do more like a short workout just to give the muscle a little bit more of stimuli, and he usually do a little bit more of volume that he didn't do in the morning. Okay, this type of two workouts is something that I do not recommend to people. Why? Because he optimized his whole day to recover. But if you are a person that actually, if you are an entrepreneur and you have a lot of things going on in your life, a lot of decisions, important decisions that you want to take, then for you the easiest thing is gonna be just have one workout and do it like 4 times per week. Because what you want is to actually be as effective as possible, but 2 workouts, you're gonna produce a lot of nervous system overload, and what's gonna happen with that is you're gonna overwork, and there is no necessity on working 2 times in the same day. Okay, you can try it if you want, but if you're gonna do something like this, what I recommend instead is going for a walk, or for example doing boxing sessions, right, where you do short workouts but more like you train your power and your cardio. Okay, and you do a short workout. So if you adapt this, you're gonna be in an incredible physical shape, but after that you have to prioritize having a very good recovery, because that is one of the most important things for your productivity. Okay, so what he does after is highly controlled meals. Highly controlled meals, right? So what he does here is that he right now he's doing vegetarian. So he started eating plants and he started feeling like more energy, and after that he just maintained it. So the principle behind this is that he started having a normal glucose balance, right? Which what this thing produces is that when you eat carbs, for example, right? What happens with carbohydrates, more like the thing with uh, vegetarian food is like the food is high in fiber, it takes time to digest, you are full most of the time, and you don't have glucose spikes because the food is not really high in sugar. As for example, if you take like normal carbohydrates or sugar, as an example, bread, as an example, if you take, for example, something sugary like sugary cereals, or if you take a bagel, which is high in carbohydrates, like all those food, if you don't control them, you're gonna have spikes in your energy. So what that is gonna produce is that you're gonna feel like you have crashes of energy. So what he does is he do vegetarian and he control his meals, so he don't have spikes of energy, and he can with the vegetarian maintain a stable level of energy, right? My part, I tried vegetarian and I'm not a big fan of it because you get a lot of deficiencies in micronutrients, like for example zinc, which is one of the main components on your body to produce testosterone, right? If you see people who are doing vegetarian, usually they supplement with TRT, so they do testosterone replacement therapy, and or if you have a really controlled diet like Mark does, he do it like professionally at the level of he do blood works, and which is something that I also really recommend every person to do blood works, because you're gonna know like what your level of energy is, right? But if you want to keep it just simple, then I recommend you to maintain a whole meals. Like for example, do steaks, do eggs. You can do, for example, if you're gonna do something sugary. As a matter of fact, I love sugar. So since I was a kid, I'm addicted to sugar, and this is one of the biggest thing where I started my fitness challenge that I started to, dealing with, which is going and eating a cake or eating something really high in sugar, which I started to enjoy more, because when you have more muscle, what that allows you to do is that you can actually eat a little bit more or a lot more, and you can still be in normal calorie intake per day if you move more. But it's also not good to do it every day, so you have to control yourself. And for example, what I did is I replaced, because I like to take everything, like my taste for sugar is really high, so in the coffee that I have in the morning, I like it to be sweet. So what I do is I started putting honey on it, because it's better, it works better for me, gives me better results. Raw honey is the ingredient that you want to replace sugar. And then what he does is that from 6 sorry for from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. he do production. Okay, so this is basically how he structured his routine. Now, there are some principles here that I already covered, but the main one is he do his workout first time in the morning. That allows him to actually do the task that is difficult but is also really important for him and is with high leverage, because if he looks good, he's gonna have more opportunities, and it's the better for every person. Doesn't matter if you are an actor or if you work in an office, right? When you work in yourself, in getting in shape, you're gonna not only feel so much better with yourself, so you're gonna have more confidence, you're gonna speak better, and you're gonna have more presence, and the person and your physique is you show status in so shape and form, and so people, when they see you in shape, they see a more capable person, so you're gonna have more opportunities, right? But then what he does is he do his first workout and he do highly controlled meals, so he maintain a stable energy level and actually recover good, and then he just block time to work, and that's what every person should do, right? You block time from work, you block time from doing your workout, and it's better if you do it first time in the morning. You're gonna have you can use these principles, and he maintained it, and this is the key. He maintained it and he achieved the physique because not because of all the marketing stuff that most people try to sell you something, like for example that he takes some supplement, or that he do the vegetarian, so the vegetarian is the key, or that he do the X workout and that is the key workout. No, the thing that actually works is that he can maintain this every day. For him is a really structured and easy routine to follow. And actually the principles are that he maintain the principles to get in shape in his meals, in his workouts, in his structural routine. That is why he can maintain it. Okay? So, for example, when you travel, when you have a busy schedule, so for example, I've been in Silicon Valley last week and in California, and I had 2 weeks where I barely could, train. So what I did is a gym there is, I didn't find a good gym in the sense of being like affordable, in the sense of not being like crazy expensive, but at the same time I didn't want to pay one entire month to go just for 2 weeks. So what I did instead, and also because I didn't have too much time to train, I had only like 45 minutes, 1 hour per day at the night or at the first time when I wake up. So what I started to do is that I started after I did all my tasks, I started going to a park and doing 100 pull-ups and 150 push-ups. And that was my routine for 2 entire weeks. Just that. Many people think that you should overcomplicate stuff, but you should actually understand how to give your body the right stimuli so you keep yourself in shape and healthy. Okay? So I'm gonna give you what are the 5 principles that you can and you have to implement if you want to maintain the 5 principles that behind his routine. Okay, so the first one is circadian consistency. What do I mean by that? You should go and do the test that I'll leave in the description, because you're gonna understand what is your ideal time to be productive, to be doing stuff. So every day you should wake up at the same time and go to sleep at the same time. That is, today you should wake up at the same time that yesterday, than 1 week ago, and than 6 months ago. And you should also went to sleep at the same time yesterday 1 week ago and 6 months ago. If you did not, or you not even get close to the time, then you should have more consistency. Why? Because you're gonna recover better. And think about this, sleep is the main component that many people say, well, yes, I know it's important, I should sleep more or sleep better, but they don't do anything about it. So what's the sense of understanding something if you are not applying it, right? It's not like the information without implementation is just information, it's useless. So you should have the consistency that he have every day to actually recover. Because if you don't go to sleep at the same time, like for example, if Mark don't goes to sleep at 7:30 or 8, guess what's gonna happen? Let's say he goes to sleep like 11 p.m. right? So he have 2 hours more. It's 3 hours more than he didn't sleep. So when he tried to wake up in the morning, he's not gonna feel recovered at 2:30. So what's gonna happen is probably he's gonna sleep more. He's gonna just wake up, let's say at 5 or 6, and remember that he started his day at 6 a.m. So he don't have too much time, like take something for breakfast and then go to work. And then when he arrive at the afternoon, he's gonna again, like when he arrived at 5, he has to go to sleep to 7:30. He's gonna start doing things, and then he's gonna go to sleep like again 11 p.m. right? So he's gonna fuck up his circadian consistency, and he's not gonna be able to hit every day the same. For sure, he has some days where he go for a drink, for example, on a Saturday night, but those days are not usual days. Most of the times, you should keep your circadian consistency, okay? The second thing is moderate your daily, and sorry about my writing, I'm not that good at writing, volume, right? So what this means is that he basically distributes his volume along the day in terms of meal and workout. He don't do everything at once. He distribute everything along the day. So what do I mean? Like for example, what I recommend like as a rule for every person is walking every day or doing some kind of cardio. Like if you like sports, like do something, and then do like muscular training, like gym or calisthenics, strength training, right? And for that, you distribute that along the day. So for example, Mark, he distribute his first workout in the morning, his second in the afternoon, right? Perfect. His meals, he take breakfast, then he take a meal, and then he take another one in the afternoon, right? Perfect. So for you, what you can do and what I recommend to do is do your first session in the morning, like 1 hour, right? And then you can go for a walk in the afternoon. So it's like more soft. Or you can go for a walk and you can go to the gym at the same time, right? Just moderate your daily volume and also don't overwork. Like, don't think that you should work out every day 2 hours per day because you are wasting your time. Let me tell you, if you work 2 hours per day 5 times per week or 6 times per week, you are wasting your time because your body recovers when your body grows when you are recovering. Your body improves when you are recovering, not when you are training. So if you want to be effective, just work out 45 minutes, 1 hour per day, and find how to do it right. Mike Menzer, he was one of the better bodybuilders of all time, at least in my opinion. He has a freaking awesome philosophy of training where he said he only needed 3 times per week to train and 45 minutes. because what he said is that the perfect stimuli to grow is just one or two sets, right? In your routine, like your 4 sets that you do from one exercise, there is only one set that gives you most of that results. So what he says is that all the junk volume that you are doing is not necessity. It's not necessary. You you have just to focus on what matters. So I recommend to check him out. He's really good. Then the third one is protein driven nutrition, right? So this is kind of like what I say, looking for my protein. I'm looking for my protein. So we was in a party the other day of a friend of mine, and we was looking something, some snack, something to eat in the table, and another friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, what are you looking for?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for my protein." And that is what you should do. You should look for your protein, like in every meal. Like I'm talking in a unusual situation where you don't know what to eat. You know those tables where you have a lot of things, or you go to a restaurant, or you have like a lot of options. Look for your protein first. Like, okay, so where is, like, salmon, fish, like tuna or chicken or meat. Like, look for your source of protein in that meal, right? Okay. Then I'm gonna put two more, which is environment. He has a good environment. Like Mark does not have an environment where he's tempted all the time to quit his routine and not train. So for example, if you work in an office and all your co-workers are fat and they don't work out and they have bad habits, and when you talk to them and they tell you, well, this afternoon I'm just gonna go to home and watch TV, or I'm gonna go to this restaurant, or I'm gonna just go with my kids and to this place and we're gonna eat this and that, or we're gonna this weekend go 2 days to Disneyland or something, and we're gonna you know have not good meals. Then all of that is not a right environment. Like when you have people, or even a breakfast, when you have people like taking a sugary breakfast, like some cereals or some bagels, or if you go to take a breakfast with your co-workers, and what they take is a bagel, for example, with something that is unhealthy, with sugar, um, something that is, or waffles, something that just look good in the menu, and you're gonna try to replicate him, or you're much more likely to take the same, even more if you don't know how to eat good. And that is one of the biggest problems to most of people. Like they take something because my friend take a waffle, I'm gonna take a waffle. But if your friend take a avocado toast because he says, "Oh well, I'm on a diet," you are more likely to actually think about, "Oh, I should get in shape too." So your environment is really, really important. Okay, and then I'm gonna touch one of the things that is one of the most important ones, which is identity based life. Okay, Mark is in shape because that is part of who he is as a person. And a lot of people, they don't identify themselves as a fitness person, and this is one of the beliefs that most people should change. It's like similar when you try to grow a business and you don't feel like you are an entrepreneur. You should start shifting yourself to the belief that you actually are, and you have to believe that you are something that you are not yet, but you're gonna get there. but you first need to change your identity. So you need to change, like for example, if you also are studying a career and you are thinking the day that you're gonna be a lawyer, right? Then you already think like you are a lawyer, right? From the day that you are even studying, like you know you are a student in the moment, but you visualize yourself being a lawyer. So you visualize how you're gonna work, how are you gonna, like what your titles are gonna be, what your level of success is gonna be, where you're gonna appear, like all that stuff. So this is the same, like visualize what are your habits. Like for him, his life, he loved his life, and this is something that most people underestimate because they think, all right, no, this is so, you know, not important or not that important. Oh yeah, I know that. But it's the same. If you know the information and you don't apply it, you are having just information, not results. I don't want information in my life, I want results. So you should start shaping your identity, and the way you do that is based on your environment, like what are the people around you. Those people shapes your identity, and the people who you listen to. If you listen to your friend, to your coworker who every day who is fat, and every day that he's gonna take breakfast he takes something bad, sugary, and he right now is overweight, or even if you have a old friend, when you see his habits, his eating habits, his daily training habits, you're gonna see that he is not doing the right things. But when you listen, for example, to Mark, who is 54 and he's in incredible shape, and you are doing what he's doing every day, I'm not saying you should go to that extreme of waking up to 30, but you can just wake up 7 a.m., go for a workout, come back home at 8 or 8:30, and you just are ready to go, right? Take a quick shower and you're ready. So you didn't, you're not even think about that option after you saw a person that is doing it and is your same age probably, or maybe older, um, and then he's doing it. So what's your excuse, right? So those are the things that I recommend and I analyze from the Mark Wahlberg case. And I have a full video where I explain the 7 changes that I made personally to go from this to this. See, I was a bodybuilder, like doing the bodybuilder diet, and then I changed. And I changed because I understood that I didn't want to be this bodybuilder that work out every day 2 hours in the gym 6 times per week and eat chicken and rice every day. I wanted to actually, first of all, enjoy my life, but second, I wanted to also have energy. I wanted to also do things that can also give me energy, give me cognitive focus, for reading, for doing things that are productive for me. And so that those changes just changed my life, and I highly recommend watch that video, if you like this one. And if you like the video, subscribe, and see you in the next one.